Hogwarts Legacy has not shied away at all from the dark side of magic in the wizarding world. If anything, it appears dark magic will be featured quite prominently in the game given how much attention the Avalanche marketing team has devoted to it. The original Harry Potter series was known for its twists and having characters take surprising turns, from Severus Snape and his role as a double agent, to Remus Lupin and his true identity as a werewolf, to Sirius Black, who ended up being Harry's godfather after we first thought him a murderer, an ultimate traitor to Harry's parents. We've been introduced to a handful of Hogwarts Legacy characters so far, but which ones could actually end up surprising us and be evil? Here are 5 characters who could turn out to be evil in Hogwarts Legacy. We'll start with Professor Eleazar Fig, who's described as both our friend and mentor in a Hogwarts Legacy PlayStation blog post. We also know he's been investigating rumors of a goblin rebellion, which doesn't sit well with the Ministry of Magic at the time. Having a mentor turn out to be a foe is a familiar trope and one we've seen even in the Potter series before. One of the most notable examples happens in Harry's 4th year at Hogwarts with Professor Moody, or fake Moody that is, in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Harry quite enjoys Moody's style of teaching, but is shocked and appalled to find out that at the end of the book, Moody has been leading him right to Voldemort all along, and his true identity was Barty Crouch Jr., a Death Eater for Voldemort. Many fans have speculated about Fig since his initial reveal, but is there anything we've seen so far to actually back up the claims that he could be evil? Well, truth be told, there's not a lot, but there is one head-scratching moment in the trailer during Fig's confrontation with the goblin Ranrock. The trailer clearly wants to position Ranrock as the bad guy here, but in this scene we'll find our main character and Fig appearing to be in Gringotts. They're then confronted by Ranrock and 2 of his guards, but notice, it's actually Fig who strikes first. Only after his initial attack do we see Ranrock retaliate with powerful magic of his own. To be fair to Fig, we don't know what happened in the lead up to this moment, but I've always found it pretty interesting that he strikes first. If not Fig though, what about one of the other professors, such as Professor Hecat? Considering all the drama that played out with the Defense Against the Dark Arts post during Harry Potter's day, this one may be a bit too on the nose. Then again, the problems for this position started thanks to a curse from Tom Riddle when Dumbledore didn't give him the job. And yet, the name Hecat is likely inspired by Hecate or Hecate, the Greek goddess of magic, witchcraft, the night, moon, ghosts, and necromancy. The closest thing to necromancy in the Harry Potter series comes in the form of Inferi, which are animated corpses of the dead. But Inferi aren't resurrected spirits. Rather, they are essentially puppets controlled by a dark wizard. And this is the most important point here. Inferi are not naturally occurring in the wizarding world. They only show up under a powerful spell with a dark wizard at the center of it. Of all the witches and wizards we know about so far in Hogwarts Legacy, it's Rookwood who probably seems like the most likely candidate, but we also can't discount Professor Hecat either. Of all the new characters that have been revealed for Hogwarts Legacy, we arguably know more about Sebastian Sallow than anyone else. At first glance, Sebastian appears to fall perfectly in line with a stereotypical rebellious Slytherin. He appears to have a habit of breaking rules and being somewhat of a rebel. It's even been confirmed Sebastian will lead us down a path into dark magic by offering to teach us one of the unforgivable spells. And yet, he certainly has a compelling reason for doing so. His twin sister Anne suffers from a debilitating curse, and Sebastian believes there's a path to save her, but only with the help of dark magic. So while Sebastian may be the one teaching us at least some form of dark magic, I'm not sure we'll ever see him as a truly evil or malicious character in the game. In fact, his story gives me hope that Hogwarts Legacy will feature plenty of gray characters with complex moral dilemmas when it comes to our actions as a player. I wouldn't be surprised if Sebastian's arc ultimately concludes with us seeing some of the Slytherin house traits in a new light. Another student who could very well be led to the dark side is Natsai Onai, our companion from Gryffindor. Natsai began her schooling in Africa, where she attended Wagadu, the largest wizarding school in the world. She moved to Hogwarts when her mother became the divination professor. We also know Natsai is wise, quick-witted, and possessed of a need to seek justice. What isn't clear is if her seeking of justice is part of her personality or if there's something deeper in her past that fuels that desire. We got a small glimpse of this in the cutscene featuring Natsai and the main character. This is the one that was showed during the Autodesk presentation. In this scene, it appeared the two were after some sort of evidence. We can actually hear Natsai say,
"New plan. I get the evidence and you free that hippogriff. Agreed? This is our chance. Go!"
And of course, the big question here, how far will she go in the name of justice? Could it lead her down a dark path? Now for our next character, the first impressions are pretty much the complete opposite of evil. Poppy Sweeting is soft-spoken, has a love of magical creatures, and belongs to the house Hufflepuff. Even her last name is Sweeting. But could Poppy's soft first impression conceal something much more sinister? A power that could rival even the likes of Grindelwald and Voldemort? Honestly, probably not, right? And again, there is this. The official social media accounts posted this image of Poppy, which looks much older and angrier than the sweet, innocent Poppy we're introduced to in the trailer. She believes creatures have far more redeeming qualities than most people, and has a particular aversion to poachers and those who work with them. So on one hand, she seems like a wonderfully gregarious Hufflepuff in the vein of Newt Scamander. But could she have a darker side? Darker than Newt? Particularly if she witnesses magical creatures being harmed? And what if those harming the creatures were someone close to her, such as a fellow student? Could she even be tempted to use an unforgivable curse on them for doing so? Evil Poppy has essentially become a meme with the hardcore Hogwarts Legacy fandom, but there's no doubt a young Hufflepuff girl turning to the dark side would shock many mainstream players. Now, while I still don't think it's likely, I certainly would not want to find myself on Poppy's bad side. If you're a fan of the darker side of the Wizarding World, you'll want to check out the latest addition to our RetroRaconteur item shop. Visit RetroRaconteur.com, click merch, and get your Unforgivable Curses tee or hoodie just in time for Halloween. And after that, you can check out my full breakdown of the Haunted Hogsmeade shop trailer here on the right side of your screen, which absolutely does not shy away from the horror elements in the Wizarding World. As always, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.